Welcome to Chrono Odyssey, home to the world of Cetera, and under siege by the invincible world-destroying Void. The graphics are amazing, the combat is amazing, and the monetization is definitely... Oh, wait a minute. 1 second. Oh, they haven't mentioned that part yet. Oh boy, okay. Anyway, there's a lot of speculation and skepticism surrounding this game, okay? And to be honest, I think it's all justified. There's a lot more that people need to see before they can actually let themselves get hyped. How much of the gameplay shown is legit? How good will the classes be? How much of our time will the end game be worth? And here's the big one. How much money am I going to have to spend to keep up with everybody else? But to tell you the truth, I really like what I've seen so far, and I've had an absolute blast learning more about the lore of this world, lore that I can't wait to share with you. Speaking of lore, when I was done with all the eye candy, there was something I had to know. What is the lore of this game like, if there's even any available? What's the world building like, the story, and all that other nerdy stuff? And so, I went digging. And I found a lot of information that I believe you'll find to be interesting. In this first Chrono Odyssey lore video, yeah, it's the first one, I'll be showing you the main villains, at least I think they're the main villains, the world-slaying Void, because I honestly think they look really cool. Now, the Void are interesting, if a little generic in their motives. Long story short, they are anti-life. They can't stand it, man. And from the looks of it, they go around destroying entire worlds, just because they feel like it. Now, they've come knocking on Cetera's door, and they won't stop until all life is purged from the land. Nice. The motives might be on the generic side, but where they stand out is their art style, which I think is nuts. I mean, I'm showing it to you now. And the bosses that I've seen, they look awesome. Speaking of the bosses, how about we take a look at them? I've spotted a guaranteed total of at least 4 different bosses of the Void faction. Let's see what they're like. First up, we have the Big Swordman. Yeah, that's the name I'm giving him. He's shown fighting the player in the ruins of this castle. I believe this castle is the same as the one shown here, here, and here. And by looking at the state of it, I'd say this guy wiped everyone out. And we arrived right after. Possibly after getting a distress call, who knows. He seems pretty powerful, but if I had to guess, this might be an early game boss. At the same time, I'm not sure if this is a standalone character, or if he's just a major unit that will be fighting several times throughout the story. I say this because in the opening scene of the second trailer, we see what looks like 2 of this character walking alongside the Void army. Either way, that's the Big Swordman, and he's a pretty cool dude, if I say so myself. Next, we have, you're gonna love this, the Big Boy. Yes, I know my names are a 10 out of 10. There's not much to say about the Big Boy, except that he's shown walking with the Void army, and that he's shown attacking the player outside of a castle or fortress of some sort. I'm not sure if this is the same castle that we talked about earlier, but who knows. Same thing goes for the Big Boy. I don't know if he's an early game boss or not, and I don't know if he's a standalone character or just a major Void unit, but he looks like he'll do a ton of damage, and that he might drop something shiny if you kill him enough times. Alright, let me be real with you. This next character, I know absolutely nothing about. I just thought I'd let you know, okay? This is Spear Boy, who's only shown walking with the Void army, and apart from being a higher ranking member of the Void, having a spear, and not being anywhere else in the trailer, I have nothing else to tell you about him. But now you know he exists, and that has to be worth something, right? Finally, we have the Beast Mistress, that's what I'm calling her, and although she, I think it's a she, is only shown in this scene, we have a little bit more to go off of. First of all, I don't believe she's shown in the first scene of the trailer with the other bosses, so she's either there but not shown, or she wasn't there at all. If she wasn't there at all, that might be an indication that she's a higher rank than the other 3, I don't know. Also, as you can see, she's got a massive beast that presumably serves her. Now, I don't know if this beast is from wherever the Void originated, like their home world, or if it's a corrupted guardian. I'll be talking about those guys in a different video. However, what is clear are two things. This creature is incredibly powerful, like raid boss, world boss powerful, and that there's a good chance it is a straight up alien because of its connection to the void. What's also interesting is that you can see the boss fight for the creature is out in the open. It is classed as a world boss, by the way, but there's no sign of its void mistress that was shown earlier. I wonder if we either kill her first and then go after the beast, or if we go looking for her after killing the beast. To be honest, I do wish there was a fight like the Nameless King going on here. Imagine if this void boss is riding the beast. We kill it, and then she gets off, dismounts, and faces us one-on-one. Kind of like the Nameless King boss in Dark Souls 3. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. And yeah, those are the void bosses that I've found so far. Although I am 100% expecting a far more big bad powerful boss who is above them all. I want to briefly mention two things. Like I said, the Void have destroyed many worlds, and are actually responsible for the destruction of the player's world. Yeah, that's right, we are not from the world where the game is set. We're not from Cetera. And you can expect a video on that as well. It's going to be all about the world movers. So, for us, fighting the Void is just as much about payback as it is about protecting people, which I think is pretty cool. The Void are also, to some extent, allied with a faction known as the Broken. Whenever you see a skeleton in the game, or this lady, that's the Broken. I'll have a more in-depth video on them too, but for now, I just want to stay focused on the Void. Alright, final point. The story of the Void. Now you might be thinking, you just told us their motivation, pretty basic, what other story could there be? You see this scene here. I'm fairly sure that stuff you see in the background is actually Void architecture or tech, and as you can see, it's been there for a while, which might suggest that the Void have been in this world for a while too. Now this would make sense, as it is stated that Cetera, the world that the game is set in, has been able to hold off the Void longer than a world normally would be able to. So this might tie into things. Now, if I had to guess, my uneducated opinion, Cetera's resilience, I believe it comes from a group called the Great Ones. Yeah, there's more lore out there than you thought, wasn't there? Also, if you look at the very back of the scene, I think that's actually the same object as the one shown here, which presumably this scene takes place inside of. As you can see, this is clearly Void related, but look at what is beyond the door. Interesting. The face doesn't look like any of the Void units we've seen before. I mean, it looks human, right? And we haven't seen anything like that with the Void. And so we have some questions raised, don't we? Seems to me like there's a story here that I am very much looking forward to learn more about. Should be good. Final point, okay? I pinky promise. There are two trailers for Chrono Odyssey, and there's the one that most people have seen, right? And then there's a cinematic from 2 years ago. Now, in that first trailer, there are absolutely no signs of the Void. I'm not sure what's going on here. Either the original version of the game was rebooted and the Void are new, or the Void were always enemies in the game and they've only been revealed now. I'll let you come up with your own opinion on that. Also, in the description for the first trailer, it says, Chrono Odyssey visualizes the stories around members of the special organization Idragon, waging a huge war against 12 gods. No idea how relevant this line is today, but I guess we'll find out. Either those 12 gods are Void related, or they are, or were to do with something completely different. And that is, for the most part, everything that you need to know about the Void. They are described as invincible, a force that we cannot defeat alone. We'll see about that. To quote my favorite company, the end game is the friend game. And that was the first Chrono Odyssey lore video. I know it is light on details, I'm sorry, I'm kind of stretching things a bit, but I'm doing the best with what info I have, and obviously we're going to fill in the gaps later as time goes on. I hope you enjoyed this video, finding it either entertaining or informative. And if I hit the wombo combo, maybe both? I'll talk to you all real soon, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.
you, boy.